Let's see. This one belongs back under lessons learned, though it's heavier than it looks. Or perhaps it's just the dust of the past settling into the binding. It's strange how some stories are meant to be kept in the archives and others are meant to be closed permanently because the narrative just doesn't hold up to the light anymore. Ah, there you are. The manor has been waiting. Come in, pull a chair closer to the fire, or settle onto the chaise. I was just sorting through some old accounts of friendship, the kind we sometimes mistake for foundations, only to find they're made of paper and misplaced expectations. When we end up dealing with a lot of stressors at once, I believe one of the most difficult parts around it is if we don't end up having the support we need. When we finally open up to someone, only to experience them completely abandoning us emotionally and turning around to become the accuser of all we've done wrong. All the choices we made, they bring up to back up their arguments. This is something I've seen plenty and heard of that men will often complain about with women in relationships, or all will around individuals expressing narcissistic traits or narcissists. I mean, we could probably end up bringing up many different types. You get my point. You know what I'm referring to. I want to pause here too before I go on to admit one of my struggles is in having been trying to get medical going and my brother struggling to get Uber to continue their background check for him. This is not a him issue, but the customer service reps miscommunicating constantly. Out of country support seems to constantly misunderstand via the phone, so he went to chat. Now he's trying email. I mean, once they get this pushed through, he will be putting in a lot of hours so we can get up. None of that is causing him an issue. It's just getting him going that is a struggle for some reason. So prayers on that are more than welcome. While we are both doing our best and trying all we need to come up with rent by the 1st, I wanted to ask if there is anything you can spare. I have a GoFundMe linked in my description, as well as Cash App and Venmo. Both are KS Ivers. It's capital KSI, then lowercase VERS. It's basically my shortened version of my name. PayPal is the same as socials, which is at Kim S. Iverson. KIMSIVERSON. Anything we can help, we need it by the 1st, and it will free up my time to get this back in order, posting, and more. I'm actually going to be trying to get ASMR style little short clips of stuff you can purchase to listen to at any time over on my Ko-fi account too, which is another place you can donate, and that's ko-fi.com/Kimberly Sue Iverson. So it's ko-fi.com/Kimberly Sue Iverson. I'm going to upload, I'm not sure how long they will be, but they will be whispered affirmation videos or audio whispered comfort talk, just for those of you who want a little extra personal attention from me with my voice in a more, I want to say intimate, but that sounds like it's going to be like sexual, and it's going to be comfort, not sexual. Just anything like that. So look for those to hit my coffee as soon as I can. I am beyond appreciative of anything you can offer. Back to the topic. Oh, and you can request stuff too if you want. Just send me a message. Tell me what would you particularly like to hear. Back to the topic. The individual is only too happy to bring up all your failings, mind you, in their eyes, whether or not those failings are correct or not, whether or not they can be easily the very thing that person is projecting. It doesn't matter. What matters is how we have failed. This is something I dealt with far too much with my mother and many friendships, so it can become something that for me simply erodes the connection severely. For me, this is something though that depending on severity and whether they acknowledge it and how they handle it after or choose to discuss it, can either be forgiven, becomes a ticking time bomb to the connection, or completely destroys it. Because the individual will bring up all the arguments of all the things you should have done differently. You could have been doing all this time. This is what you are doing wrong. This is how you are wrong. They want you to know all of the decisions that you made which were wrong in their eyes, that you should have, could have, would have done differently. What does it change? What does it help? The decisions have been made. The past is done. This is now. It only further erodes the connection and makes that person you say you love feel like the worst human in the world, like an utter failure of a person. And the biggest problem with that is that usually it comes when they are already feeling that way. We can't change the past. We can't undo decisions we made. We cannot become a different person overnight. Yet those accusations often are pressure to change instantly for the other person, not for us. Robert Frost wrote a poem that is similar to this, where he has two different choices to make, but obviously he can only choose one. One his friend doesn't agree with, and yet it is his choice he made. This is a poet close to my heart because in school, the teacher had us read and memorize Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, and it still remains one of my favorites. This is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. This poem actually has a poem guide, which is sort of like a behind the scenes of and a breakdown of it over on poetryfoundation.org, and I have it linked on my article for this, and in the description it should be. What can often be a real struggle, and one that I encountered often with my mother that I'm sure you've dealt with in your own way, was that when our decisions are effectively cataloged as failures and quote unquote, well, you didn't perform as I wanted, so now you're wrong, it's just that. It's performative. It's an energy which says, if you do what you want, but as I like, I will be gracious. If you do what you want, which isn't aligned with me, it's wrong. So now I'm going to catalog it, save this for later. So if you fail especially, this is now something I can use against you. I am keeping tally of all of your wrongdoings to bring up later as proof I am superior and you are inferior. Many believe this to be a quote-unquote tough love service, because of course we cannot be enabling people, now can we? But as someone who has gone through severe abuse and trauma all my life, that can't be just got over. When I received that sort of treatment, I shut down. I am now this horrible person, just like my mother always said. This is further confirmation that I am worthless, that I am nothing, that this world would be better off without me, because what really do I contribute? Everything I do is utter trash and a failure. It's where my mind goes. Tough love only works on people who can handle it. Breaking a person down to nothing isn't something one should do out of anger, frustration, or anything else other than love. And that's usually not behind when a lot of people do it. Should be done when you are calm. The military breaks people down to rebuild them, and they know what they're doing. They know how to do it. In BDSM, this can be done well by quality doms too. I said quality, not fake. They know how to do it, the process. Most random people don't know the proper way to break and rebuild someone in a healthy way. The sad truth is that many individuals cannot control their triggers. If you poke them a certain way, whether intentional or accidental, they will go off. I am not always so good at it either. This is something you can see on my Facebook profile. If I don't behave as the fantasy some see me as, somehow I'm the bad guy, when in reality it's often the man realizing I'm a human, not his fantasy little toy, and so he feels I must be punished because it's clearly my fault. After all, I led him on, right? I made him believe lies, right? This is often the mindset that goes into that sort of area. I must be punished. Because I've been entertaining myself with these meta AI animations of my own selfie and the Glance AI shopping app images, I've gotten a lot of flack. Someone doesn't see that I say it's to provide me a playful moment during my chronic pain struggles, and I share them because I am entertained and hope it is for others. What these guys will see is she's fake. She filters it all and attack me. But the thing they don't seem to notice, and they hate that I do, who was drawn in by it? Who was the one who came to my profile because they saw that image or animation? Then they saw who I really was, and it became an instant trigger. I was at fault. I didn't behave according to their idea, which is where some get those triggers to come in. They see our actions and behavior as wrong because we are not doing as they believe we should. How do we know what is the right decision? How are we to decide what another should do? Because then what happened if they did do as we told them that they should have, and they still failed? Exactly. Then that once more would become fodder, and it likely then would be you're the one who didn't think for yourself. You're the one who put yourself into this position. The issue is that we know that. We know it's our decision. We know it's our fault. We don't need another person telling us. We are the ones who are constantly unto our own selves, beating ourselves up. This creates a transactional relationship, and it's not healthy. If we are continuously cataloging things for later, keeping track of wrongs and decisions the other person makes, we are not really loving and supporting them. We are not really present in that space with the person and accepting them as they are at that time. If they are deciding to trust someone to make the right decision in their life, and that person's decision is wrong, and it affects them, sure, they can be wrong. Or they can have placed trust in someone and it went wrong. So therefore they learn and try to fix it, try to do better, learn, grow from it. Some, I hate to tell the world, simply continue to make the wrong decisions, even if they think they're right, even if every path says this is right. It might not be right. They might fail again. They might be responsible for making a mistake again. It doesn't mean that they aren't trying. Do you have everything figured out? Do you always make the right decisions? No. Sometimes you mess up. Sometimes you fail. Again and again. Do you need that as a reminder? To be told you messed up? I bet you already know you did. I bet you know every mistake you made, every wrong, and they haunt you. We don't need to have someone cataloging failures to bring up when we are at our worst, scared, sad, or anything else, and just need support. We just need someone to hold that with us and not have a judging, critical eye to x-ray and highlight our failings. I mean, would you feel that was a safe space to go to anymore? Or would you begin to pull away, especially if it happened more than once because someone couldn't control their emotions? There is only so much grace we can also extend to someone who makes clear they're keeping notes on our failure points and all times we make the wrong decision. Something I dealt with a long time ago after I'd been raped, and now I use as a barometer for a healthy and safe interaction, is how I'm treated when I'm at my worst. I had a lot of struggles with reaching out for help, even if it wasn't a direct ask as in I need help, and just maybe was a call or text to engage them, because not only was it taught to me not to ask for help, it was wrong to ask for help, but it's hard anyway. That became turning away from the person in need who needs support, leaving them, me, alone to carry the burden and figure it out alone. Because it doesn't matter if it's just presence they need. Leaving someone to heal all by themselves can actually cause more suffering. From dealing with my mother, it's also the person who tried to alter how you see things. You're not thinking clearly. You're seeing it wrong. Why are you trying to alter my reality to fit into you being the right one? I get that sometimes we might struggle to see things clearly. I know I do. I'm sure when you're upset or angry, you do. But to have a person actually say, your thoughts are wrong. You are only seeing something wrong in what I'm saying because I say so. Think how I want you to. I am the authority on your thoughts. Many in this world now have this idea of you'll figure it out. But here's the thing from the person always left to figure it out on my own. If you leave me when I need you most, then why are we friends? Why would I lean on you? Be there. If all I need is just a hug or just your presence, and you walk away from me for asking for so little after I have been denied the most basic of human things, can't think of the way to properly phrase it, then why are we in any semblance of a relationship if I'm to go through life alone? That even just a conversation when I am in need of support, when I am always there for you when you need me, is asking too much. Many could look at it from the outside as me being the one in the wrong, and friendships shouldn't this or that, or look at it as if I am the one being transactional. I won't deny it if you see it that way. These are just my thoughts anyway. But this is the friendships I had all my life. I would go out of my way to be there for them as an ear, my presence, a ride, give them things I had that they lacked, buy them food. Then when I got raped and was the one in need, I changed. I lost the best part of myself. I was selfish. Because for once, I needed them too, to support me, to be there, to be present. I won't chase after you. If you go, you'll find I'm no longer there. If you turn away from me when I ask or need so little in a connection to be happy and just need your grace and patience, I won't be there after a while, because I have slept in a car. I have had to rebuild my life from the ground up after losing everything, after being raped. I have slept in a cot in a room that wasn't my own, alongside a pool because they had no rooms during some event. I have had to pull myself off the ground or the floor of the bathtub and stand up, literally, on my own. So when I choose you, when I stay, when I am there making that choice, if you don't understand the absolute risk to my heart, my life, my mental state that I am taking on you, and you treat it as so little that I'm not trying hard enough, then I will stop trying with you at all, because I rarely ever ask anything in return. When my anxiety spikes and you kick me away while expecting me to support you through decisions that maybe you say nobody does, or that I'm the one accepting you and you're glad that I'm there, that I help you, and then you turn your back on me, I have literally dragged myself from the depths of hell by myself. And myself is where I am used to. I will not battle everything inside of me to remain in your life, while you think so little of me that I'm not performing to your standards. And to you listening, I want you to listen to my words. You deserve better. You deserve someone who will do everything to keep you in their life as you do theirs, and who sees that value and who honors that connection with you, and they do not take you for granted, ever. A partner, whether a friendship or more. And I know just how hard that is to find in this world now. But you deserve the absolute fucking world. And if they aren't making you feel that, do not stay. I understand circumstances where you can't physically leave. I'm not saying you have to physically leave, but learn to detach and disconnect and focus purely on you at that point. That is all that saved my life when I lived with my mom. There was only so far that I could get freedom away from her because of just how bad she was and the lengths she would go to destroy me and anyone connected to me to ensure she kept that control over me. But learn to detach and disconnect is all that saved my life when I lived with my mom. So when she looked me straight in the eye and told me to kill myself, I didn't walk into the bathroom and fulfill her wish. You deserve the world and the entire solar system. You deserve a person, even friends, who make you feel empowered and glow like the sun. Not people trying to chip away at your soul and heart. Because yes, we may struggle. There are so many right now in this world struggling really hard who are not getting the help that they need, who people will look down on. I even read a post from somebody recently on Threads asking for help because she has cancer and she's living in her car because it was either try to treat the cancer and save her life or have a roof over her head. And I keep thinking about that. Is that person not trying hard? Are they just making bad decisions? Are they not doing enough to get help? No. We are all doing so much to find help. So much. And we are all struggling in some way. We do not need someone close to us who has this negative mindset towards us. Because we may struggle, as I said, with addictions, with finances, self-esteem, decisions, it doesn't matter. But having someone close to us who has this negative mindset towards us, we will feel it. And that might be why you are still not doing well and struggling. Life, God, the universe, whatever your belief, will show you who your people are. You will feel happy, playful, light around them. You'll notice positive things encircling you. Just look at those who find their person. You'll see them become the best version of themselves. They'll start looking better, being better, and it's like both are blessed by the light of the sun. It doesn't mean both sides are bad if a connection doesn't provide that. But there could be something around you both that when that energy field connects, it becomes a negative, not positive. I still deeply love my ex, not the one who raped me. But that was never the issue with us. We both could have done things better, differently. But when I look back at that energy, we both were struggling in our lives so much. Like that song says, sometimes love isn't enough. That energy could always change later with you and whoever too. Few things in life are permanent. It's why often if I think I'll bring a negativity to someone's life or feel I'm disappointing them all the time, can't live up to their belief system because of them somehow seeing me as a constant failure, even if they don't say it out loud, that as well for me can be a reason I'll pull back. Why would I bring my struggles to your life? Why would I make you deal with the battles I'm constantly under from being broken and having a shattered mind that probably will never fully heal? Why would I make you put up with me if you see me as a constant failure? Why would I force you to endure someone you have so little faith in? I'm not going to do that to either of us. I can't cause that sort of pain to another. I'll hurt myself instead and back away, sooner than make your life miserable. Also because I know eventually some would go back into that space I mentioned before. You're not trying hard enough. You're not doing enough. And on. It becomes you versus us. You versus me. You are on your own. Like in my book, Savage Lands. Okay, now this will sound like it was mirrored back from something that recently happened, but let me explain that I wrote this story long before everything took place. So with that being said, when a pandemic breaks out and the world turns on one another, the Rodiran end up, short answer, becoming a cure, what's in their blood. So neighbors and friends turn on them. As far as they're concerned, the rope deer are the issue. These people who have lived alongside humans since dawn of man and quietly remained there are now the outcast. They are not the problem. A brief explanation is that in this story, I take on werewolves as a more science-based DNA evolution thing. The alphas are born with a genetic predisposition to the saliva in their bite being able to heal. So in this story, Savage Lands, they are harvested, sought after, bred on purpose to be used for slaves, breeding stock, and many more cruel things that only humans are capable of doing to others, it seems. So when that stress rises and the fears come up and humans feel powerless, they turn on those people, that group. It strips away their unconditional empathy and kindness, and they begin to project their fears and insecurities onto the road deer as blame for all that has come to pass. They have decided, instead of focusing inward and working out those problems that are coming up within themselves, it is far easier to say that the rope deer are their enemy. They are to blame. They are the cause of their personal suffering. It is on them. That can often be a struggle for people. I'm just as guilty of this at times, where instead of focusing on whatever is within themselves that is causing the issues that they're trying to blast us for, it is way easier to dump that emotional purge onto us to fix them. This is something I had to learn to handle better with my mother. She would often get triggered and turn it around on me. I had to really work hard to see that it was something going on in her and not a personal thing. She would dump her emotions onto me and expect me to fix that issue. Like that quote, hurt people hurt people. They can sometimes help people too, but that's the thing. We have to see it. We have to say, I am feeling really triggered. Why? It's not that other person's fault either. We control our own emotions, whether afraid or anxious, nervous, or whatever it may be. Another person cannot make us feel an emotion unless we give them that power to. Now, obviously, we fail. Someone poked the wrong nerve on the wrong day at the wrong time, and we will all collapse into our base emotions. We are, after all, human. Not everyone can be in control 24/7. Anything can go wrong at any time. But that doesn't mean it is on the other to completely fix it. If I get angry at you for whatever reason, you are not responsible for fixing my anger. I am. I am the one who has to go, why am I so angry? Often anger isn't even anger. It's frustration, it's hunger, it's exhaustion, it's stress from other things. Sometimes it's actually sadness because we aren't being seen and heard. The other person isn't listening to us. We've tried again. So then we get mad when it's really, I feel sad because you aren't listening to me when I need you to. I am a person who was raised not to speak that way. So I work hard every single day to figure out what I am even feeling to then be able to express it. It is why I love to talk to you. Any of you who talk to me, I learn. I help you while helping me learn. You help me. You learn while helping me. We work together and we talk things out. We converse. I don't ever want someone in my life who won't sit down and say, okay, so this is what I am hearing from my side. This is how I am feeling. I can see how this would feel for you. I can put myself in your position and see why this might affect you this way. And we ping pong until there is a resolution, not a who is right and who is wrong. A middle ground of simple understanding. Neither has to fully win or be right, or even take on that view, but to be seen and heard and find some way to progress forward is a big deal. It's what I often deal with when getting close to people in terms of any romantic prospect. Many, and I mean many men, will have an expectation of me being a certain way because of what they have dealt with. I am not her. I am not that other person. I have triggers and I have struggles that many just don't have. I have fears and pain I battle constantly. I work hard not to go deep inside of myself and shut everything out forever. Because of being raped, because of being assaulted, stalked, whatever the case, many women and men end up never again letting that group close, whichever did the harm. They never again trust humans. They struggle to keep a bond, job, relationships. Many even get heavy into drugs, alcohol, etc. Then there are those like me who aren't changing the world with some big movement, but we are just trying to find that one connection that fits. Trying to have as normal of life as possible. Yet I do tend to keep to myself because I have experienced a loss of personal safety. I have seen how systems don't protect everyone. I have been victim of so much hate and anger that I prefer to keep to myself. Far too many have a belief it's social anxiety. And if you saw me around people, you'd realize instantly how silly those two things are to put together. I'm not afraid of people. I'm afraid of, again, trusting someone who says and does all the right things. And in that singular moment, my opinion won't matter anymore. My no will be ignored for the sake of his wants and needs, and there will be nothing I can do to stop him. Nothing that would come after. As the quote goes, men are afraid of a woman breaking their heart. Women are afraid of them killing them. These aren't the same. Opening up takes effort. Finding a safe space to land takes trust. Finding that safety net is no longer there when you go to someone just to be caught. That can be brutally painful. I had this sent in from a friend over on Facebook. On Facebook. And as I tell everyone, I will read anything that you submit as long as it stays within certain guidelines. Mostly stuff that won't get me kicked off of here. So I wanted to share his poem that he wrote in October of 2018. Passion so powerful, my mind is on fire. Thoughts all rampant, filled with desire. Full bore or nothing, no in between at all. Waiting foolishly for someone who's never going to call. Heart misplaced, given to loveless, lost souls. Nothing worse, except strippers without poles. Taken for granted, used, played for a fool. Not like I ask for more than respect. Treated like a tool. Hurt every time I try. Hardly trust a single one. To be honest, think I'm done. Effort upon effort. Showing what's true. Game after game. Lie upon lie. It's all you know to do. No one but God knows how life will go. Back to the old me. No more captain save a hoe. And he sent this after, which was a little bit darker, according to him. He wrote this one in October of 2017. Sweat in my eyeballs, sand on my face. Day after night, I pray, please God, let me survive this place. Forgive me, Father, they have forced my hand, awakened the nightmare of man. No hesitation, no thought at all. Exhale, squeeze, run the bolt, watch the bodies fall. The evil of man rests idly in everyone. With the devil loose, no war is truly ever won. Remorse always, each day filled with regret. Sounds, smells, and faces I can't and won't forget. Buried under earth, drinking, drugs, and rage. Jesus died for our sins. Tomorrow's a new day, a new page. I thought that one in particular was pretty strong. And I think a lot of you guys that were going through the military might relate to that feeling. And when I say guys, that of course can include women. And that is from Kansas CK. I told him too that he's more than welcome to send me more. I think that he would send pretty good stuff. So if you want to hear more from him, let me know and I will pass on the word to him. Now it's your turn. We all have moments where we reach out for a lifeline. only to find the hands we trusted are closed. Have you ever had a moment where you realized a safe relationship was no longer safe? How did you learn to stop looking for validation in rooms that were no longer meant to hold you? Now, as usual, you may go, or you may wander the halls for a while. You may go and check through the library, see if there's another book for you to read. Or, if you like, you may take one of the rooms or go. And if you enjoyed this, as I have said, we are in need of rent by the 1st, and any help can be something. All my information is in the description box of where you can donate, including the GoFundMe link if you prefer that, or other sites. Every little bit helps me keep this going for you and helps me focus here where I need to, and also helps me breathe a little, my loves. And I appreciate you for coming by. I will see you next time. Just beware the hellhounds who lurk in the shadows, for they are so hungry, and you are so tasty.